One of my favorite quotes is from the movie Rocky. He says, "It ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward." And yes, I did just start this off with a Rocky quote because I'm a fucking 80s kid and I grew up on that shit. So deal with it. Um, but I think about it often. He's so right because you can come out swinging, you can do everything right, make all the right decisions, be prepared, do all the work, and still get knocked down out of nowhere. And it can cost you everything if you're not prepared to just get right back up and keep moving forward. I don't know how many times I have sat there just like licking my wounds, waiting to be okay. Just, I need a minute and I just need to like recover and I just want to be okay before I get to the next thing. But the fact is, waiting doesn't make it go away. Inaction doesn't change what's already happened. All it does is stall out your progress, and getting knocked down is part of the process. If you wait to make another move, you're just prolonging the torture and you're making it worse. Instead of getting right back on track, now you're like taking the scenic route. If you ever miss a turn and you think I'll just find a new route, and instead of stopping and going back or like turning around in a parking lot, you end up so fucking far off course of where you're supposed to be, and you just added like an extra 30 minutes to your trip instead of just taking the next exit, flipping a bitch and getting back on the next exit and back on track. You are wasting your time. You're insulting all of your previous work and progress, and this just ends up destroying your confidence. It makes you second guess yourself and your choices, and it gets you stuck in this kind of limbo. So they say an object in motion stays in motion, right? So, for example, in roller derby. So I used to coach junior roller derby, and we would teach these kids to use the momentum of their fall to carry themselves back up to standing. Because once you hit the ground and you stop moving, it takes all of the energy that you have to get back up. Using that momentum of the fall to keep moving forward, you kind of hit the ground and you bounce off of it and you slide and you stand right back up, and you're already moving, you're already doing the thing, and you just kind of pivot your focus and move back to where you want to be. And you're back at the beginning again, which is standing, right? So this is exactly the same in any other aspect of life. If you stop and you sit there and you feel sorry for yourself and you lose that momentum getting started again. I don't know about you guys, but for me to get started on a project again, it takes everything that I have in me. And I had to learn this the absolute hardest way with hiring and training a manager. So I did all of the work. I created all of the systems, the interviews, the training plan. I trained someone for 4 months only for it to not work out. And instead of just rolling with the punches and getting someone else in there right away, I sat around for a whole year feeling sorry for myself, being negative, wondering why it couldn't have gone better, telling myself that I needed time to recover, and just feeling like, oh, I just wasted 4 months on this, and I'm never gonna get that time back. I'm never gonna get that money back. I made a bad decision. Like, I'm not ready to do this again. Like, it's like I have to heal from this, basically. Like, that's so dramatic, but really, it was a fucking gut punch, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to have to do this again because now it's fresh in my mind. Like, okay, I could hire and train somebody else, but are they just going to not work out and then I'm going to have to do this all over again? Like, I need a fucking minute here. It's almost like I had to mourn the loss of my hopes and dreams before I could start over. And imagine if I just said, well, that didn't work and got right back to it. I already had everything set up and ready to go. The mistakes I made were fresh in my mind. I could have just made some adjustments right then and there. I could have added to my systems, my trainings, and been clear on my expectations from the beginning. I could have very easily started up the same ad that I just used 4 months before and just kept going. But instead, I wasted a whole year that I could have been making progress, staying stagnant and staying struggling because I was too afraid that I was going to get burned again. So how do you get yourself back up immediately? Because I know that I'm saying that and I'm oversimplifying it because it's not easy. That's like saying, you just went through a terrible breakup and it's like, get back out there. You got to get back out there. Like, no one wants to hear that. And especially when you have a big fail in your business or, something doesn't go according to plan in your business, the last thing you want to hear is, just, get back out there and give it another shot because that's fucking frustrating. And you're like, okay, but it didn't work out. What if it doesn't work out again? You start to doubt yourself. How do you get to the point where you can just get right back up? First of all, you have to detach emotionally from things in general. And I know that this is easier said than done. I know, even saying this, I feel like a fraud because I'm so deeply emotionally attached to my work and my business, and it is a very difficult thing for me to do as well. But taking the emotion out, you won't have to have an emotional reaction with it. And if you can look at it logically and find the lessons and see the opportunities and make the time to reflect and analyze what happened and what went wrong and what went right, and just make that time, set it aside to come up with a new plan. So you might not be, letting someone go on Monday and then hiring someone new on Tuesday, but Tuesday you could be like, okay, let me just think back on everything that happened. Like where did I go wrong? So for me personally, the interview. There was red flags that I should have paid attention to, and I just wanted to see the best in this person, and I wanted to think like I could fix them, right? That's classically me, but I just, really liked her, really wanted it to work out, so I overlooked some things, and instead of just sticking to my plan and sticking to my interview process, I ignored these red flags and passed her through and gave her the job. So now, after it's all said and done, it's my fault. It's not her fault. Like, I could be mad at her because she didn't work out, but honestly, like, I should be mad at myself. I'm the cause of this because I didn't follow my own systems and my own process. So going forward, we're not going to cut corners on interviews because that's, you know, easily the most important step in hiring somebody, I think. So, I'm looking at overall, did I train her properly? Did I give her all of the tools that she needed? Did I give her the right expectations? Was I following up? Was I giving her feedback? What could I have done better while it's still fresh in my memory? And I'm making note of these things and I'm changing things and changing my systems. And then I'm going to execute immediately. I'm going to get it on the schedule. I'm going to keep that ball rolling. And even if you don't feel ready, even if it's the last fucking thing that you want to do, you have to push through it. You have to get yourself through it. Take those first steps, the rest will follow, and you'll just start keeping that momentum, and it will always be better than just standing still.